Stefan, thank you very much indeed for your time, for talking to us. Congratulations on the collection, it's absolutely magnificent.
Thank
it
you.
looks really beautiful, very high end, and you can see the sort of heritage aspect of it running through. Of course, it's a collaboration made with many different partners. So you've got an American textile firm, Maharan, you've got the Italian marble manufacturer as well,
Luce de Carrara.
Luce de Carrara, and you've got Fortnum Mason, this amazing British department store and retailer that survived for 300 years.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult time, through the very difficult times. So what does this major collaboration mean to you?
Well, first of all, we were invited by London Design Festival,
Yes,
so that's
yes.
a great honor. You know, we're one of the main presentations.
Yes.
And then they always team up with it can be a store like Fortnum Mason or another presentation. And what we like so much about Fortnum Mason is because they are the oldest department store in town.
Yes.
I think over 300 years, so it's unbelievable. I think that only exists in London or something like in UK. We don't have that in Holland. But it was a very, when I heard the invitation, heard about the invitation, we were immediately enthusiastic because it's all about heritage, and but with a contemporary touch. I mean, even Fortnum Mason tried to, develop themselves and do innovations on a certain theme, tea drinking.
Yes.
And actually we did the same with our collections for Arita Japan. It's called 6060. Also 300 years old, even 400 years old.
17th century, crazy.
Exactly, a company where sort of the same development process went through, what is new tea, what is new porcelain, how are people dealing with food, and of course the service they have to around them. So it was a very fascinating invitation, and here we are today.
Fantastic, and congratulations on that. And in terms of the Arita region in Japan, I'm very interested in that. So as you said, it's a heritage that goes back to the 17th century, and of course full of amazing craftsmen there working on this. Can you talk us a little bit more about the materiality aspect of it? Porcelain, for instance, and how did you adapt your own beautiful work to their crafts? What was that exchange like as a designer?
So 1616 is the brand name, but also the starting date of the Dutch coming to Japan and to do trade. They were already making the best porcelain in the world for the shoguns, so the empire families.
Right.
We were invited because I think in general all these crafts manufacturers have a sort of similar problem or challenge, is that the interest from the consumer is is going down. And we were invited to come up with a new collection which was focusing on a younger public. So not as a gift anymore from parents to their children or grandparents to their children, but really a new generation thinking about food, thinking about porcelain. And we designed color porcelain. That was our theme for this collection, or starting point. And I think it's very successful in Japan, also international, although it's because you import it always a little bit more expensive. But the main success of this collection is that you don't have to buy the whole set. I think that's a big difference. So in the old days you had bought 8 plates, 8 bowls, the whole set. And this new generation, 30 something, 20 something, they want to collect. They don't want a whole set. So they start with a cup, which is very colorful, and then you can buy another cup, which is also very colorful, and they all mix and match.
Right.
And it was our first idea, but we didn't know it could be that successful, because people are like really collecting items from the whole collection.
Right.
And then it's manufactured in the best craftsmanship you can ever imagine. It's really the best porcelain, I think, worldwide.
Incredibly fine.
Yeah, glazing, thin, the way they produce it, the way they finish it, the sharp things we can do, which you never could do with the techniques in other companies. So that's very interesting.
In terms of, would you have any idea the length of this process in Japan to make? the design is being conceived?
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
So
that's a good question. But I think overall, for a product design in general, it's like 2 to 3 years
Right.
before you make your sketch.
Yep, yep.
The development process, and it's available in the store. And I think you always talk about 2-3 years. It sounds
2-3
ridiculous long, but that's what it takes. And no matter actually if you do a teapot
Yeah.
or a sofa, product development takes a time, and then it needs to be picked up, showed, catalog,
Yes.
and but then again, the energy is forgotten if a product is like for many years successful, so that doesn't
course.
matter. But yeah.
For me, this sort of like ties in very beautifully with the idea of luxury. Just like, you know, the old Goyard trunks made in Paris, are still made in
Exactly.
Paris bespoke.
Yeah.
It takes months,
Yeah.
sometimes a year.
Yeah.
So
And people didn't
it's
mind
interesting how
because,
the consumer will react to that, respond to that. It's
Yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah. But I think we go a little bit back to this way of working with craft because, mass-produced products you can buy on every corner of the street, and you see that people are getting to be more interested in quality again. Of course, you pay more because
course.
there's
Yeah.
handcraft
Yeah.
involved, time, energy. But we see that being picked up by people who really appreciate beautiful glasswork from Ireland, from Waterford, hand-cut glasses, which was also on the list of extension, this whole factory. They used to work in Ireland, Waterford, I think 1,200
Right.
glass blowers and cutters. There were
Wow.
16 left in 2016.
Yes.
And
It's like the tailoring business in Britain.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's and that's strange, right? Because
Yes.
they were in the old days the mass-produced companies,
Yes.
and even did if they did handwork or not. So
Yes, this is incredible. Your brand, your designs master the practice with porcelain. It really does. Your designs are considered, sophisticated, delicate, and timeless at the same time. When I look at it, I'm a great fan of your brand, of your designs.
okay.
How much, in regards to porcelain with the tea ceremony culture, how much have you had to historically to research about this culture within the British context, the Japanese, the Chinese? You became almost an expert with your products, with your collections.
Now we always study a lot, no matter
Yeah,
what we do.
yeah,
I mean,
research
we research, we buy books, we read, we search on photos, and especially with Fortnum Mason as well. We did the whole research about drinking tea. It's not a ceremony, but the whole concept behind it.
Right.
It's an afternoon tea. It's not a high tea. It's an afternoon tea,
Yes.
and with every segment of this afternoon tea, there is a product design, especially for this occasion,
Right.
and that's really fantastic. How many tools there are designed to pick up a sugar cup or a sugar cube, or how you place the cup, and also the saucer from dripping and being elegant. It's something to consider.
Yes.
And then yet, if you want to do contemporary design, you need to let it go.
You need to sort of scrap.
But
Some
in a
of
way,
these
you can
items,
always
yeah.
see and I think that's therefore our designs are hopefully timeless. That we always consider the aspect of the DNA of a company or the context we work in, but with a contemporary touch. And how we get this contemporary touch is like working with maybe the same colors, but then we overlay them, or we try to find new techniques how to improve these colors. Or, I mean, things move along. So also. All the glazings are non-toxic these days.
Yes.
While in the old days you had like these beautiful toxic colors, like the cadmium red is a good
Yes,
example, right?
that's a good
It's
example.
forbidden, it's not allowed anymore,
Yes.
and a good thing because it was you get sick from it. But the development of this new cold colors, they are fantastic. They really made a process.
There's an innovation in that.
Yeah.
And it's such a traditional
Yeah, the same for the color wood.
ceremony.
We
Yes.
did with Karimoko New Standard. We work with a traditional wood company, but we use state-of-the-art new techniques like
Right.
printing directly on wood, which was in the past, like I talked like 4 years ago, only done for prototyping,
Right.
and now it's in a process which is used in mass production.
Right. Right.
So, and I think that's the great thing. If you can connect these innovative techniques,
Yes.
also for the floor, how it's made in marble, it's only possible with the latest machines and the latest techniques.
And Italy, of course, still masters that.
This is
Yeah.
done by Luce de Carrara, and
Really beautiful.
this is really a masterpiece. If you see all these dots, machine cut, but anyway, they have all like a tolerance, of course, and they perfectly line up. The colors are beautiful.
Yes, the color
and then
palette.
the technique, how they are glued together, is old. It's already from the 60s, 50s,
Right.
but it's a sort of terrazzo technique, and completely redone in a new form.
Well, the brief has successfully come through the items, the objects, which is, you know, fantastic. I think stepping away a little bit from the collection, this particular collaboration, your brand and designs have covered a wide spectrum of collections and products, tableware. I'm in love with your textiles work and the rugs in particular, paper rugs and the tea ceremony, the porcelain, etc. In terms of design work at the studio, who shares the workload? What's a particular category of work that you focus more on compared to Carol, for instance, your partner?
Yeah, well, these days we work with a team of 12 people, 12 designers,
Right.
excluding ourselves. So what we still do, we did it always, we make a sketch. Most of the times I sketch, but then Carol adds work to it. She's commenting, she is like adding colors or samples,
Right.
and then we get a storyboard.
Yes.
This process takes a month, for instance, because we need to go back and forth. And then with that storyboard or with this brief, we go to one of our designers, which you have immediately thought of if you start the process, because we know exactly which designer can do what. And then it's a start of translation it to a product.
Right.
But never alone, always with the team. We couldn't do this without our team. I mean, it's fantastic. I'm really proud. I'm a fantastic team.
It's a real collaborative work. A final question here for you is, there's a common sort of theme running through the London Design Biennale, London Design Festival, which is about emotions. Could you briefly tell us, do you think about emotions whilst designing? How your consumer, your client will receive it on an emotional level?
I think I'm a very emotional person myself, so I always think about emotion, because I think emotion is key for life, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I wish some people were a little bit more emotional, so you have conversations. And I think what my designs or our designs should do is that they enable the consumer with maybe conversations, or it's some pieces are really literally conversation pieces. They're not like some are way more useful than others, but I think even the vase for Sèvres, which is a masterpiece. Of course, you can put flowers in it, yes. And it's made for that. It's a vase, but in the end, it's also a beautiful art piece which you can start a conversation about. You can enjoy it.
There's an emotional connection.
For me, it is, yeah, because I can talk for hours only about this vase, and then from there on you can start conversation. And I think that's where the whole setting is about. People are missing here, but you can feel that you can sit here, yes. And enjoy the works and enjoy a glass or look at it and every time you pick it up, get surprised.
Right.
Because I think that's what designers should do, bring up an emotion or a great feeling, or it can be anything actually. Yes. It can also be negative. It doesn't have to be only positive, but as long as you're not throwing the vases through the space, I like it that people get excited about.
Absolutely, this is a true aesthetic experience. Stefan, it's been a great pleasure. It's fascinating. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Yeah, thank you.